Several countries are clamping down on social media platforms over spread of disturbing content. In Gabon, authorities have suspended social media platforms until further notice. Among reasons cited by government for the ban includes spread of false information, cyberbullying, and unauthorized disclosure of personal data, which are destabilizing government institutions and threatening democratic progress in the country. In a related development, Spain has ordered prosecutors to investigate social media platforms X, Meta, and TikTok for allegedly spreading AI-generated child sexual abuse material. This is in line with moves by European regulators to scrutinize big tech over harmful and illegal content. Meanwhile, Ireland's Data Protection Commission says it has also opened a formal investigation into X's AI chatbot Grok over the processing of personal data and its potential to generate harmful sexualized images and video, including of children. A lawyer and data protection practitioner, Temidayo Akindele, joins me virtually to discuss this. Good to have you join us. Please unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Hello, Precious.
All right, great to hear you, Temidayo. So, I mean, in 2026 alone, we've seen, just January and February, we've seen a lot of probe of social media giants over explicit content, cyberbullying, data protection issues. But what really gets my attention is the AI aspect of this. Is it that we're having more issues now because of the maybe poor regulation of AI, or has these issues always been there?
So these issues have always been there. It is now proliferating because we have AI and the accessibility to do things more quickly. Going to the Grok AI issue in particular, you will know that Grok AI is a chatbot functionality that also has image generation and editing tools allowed with it. And then AMX, the platform, is a microblogging site. So people can go on Twitter or X and release information very quickly. Now, the Grok AI functionality allows people to use and manipulate information, images in real time. So what you're having happen is there's no delay between the time a person is typing something or correcting images or creating images before it then goes online. And that is what is dangerous about it. There's poor regulation in this regard to some extent, but there's also a bigger concern around the fact that the platform itself was not built to anticipate that these things could happen. So if you're creating a software platform, your first priority should be to look at governance structures that dictate what that platform should be able to do or should not do. From a data protection perspective, we have the GDPR that is applicable all over the United EU and the UK GDPR version of that. And that legislation has been able to be like let me use the word trailblazer for other data protection authorities around the world. So people look to the GDPR as a standard for what they expect to happen on social media platforms or on all technology platforms. What Grok AI failed to do in this particular instance was to anticipate that the platform that they were providing to people for use in this way may not have met the checks that it should meet from a regulatory perspective. So we do have the GDPR itself, but we also have like the Digital Services Act, which is an act that is fashioned to make sure that we keep people safe online and to prevent harm to people online. So the fact that the basics of technology development, of a software developer doing their work seems to have been overlooked in this process. Now, what makes it worse is when they were then flagged to Grok AI to say, this is what has gone wrong, they blamed the users and not the technology itself. I think that is appalling, because when something is flagged to you as, you've given us a tool to use, the tool is deficient or the tool has problems, and we tell you there's a problem with the tool, or you yourself as a provider, platform provider, notice the problem with the tool, you should be taking steps to immediately correct the things on that tool, because we're not talking about little breaches. We're talking about life-impacting consequences of these tools being created. So what has been happening is Grok AI has been allowing users to upload content from anyone, anywhere. And this could even be content people innocently upload.
And Temidayo, apologies, I need to come in because I want it to be very clear. And you're right, because we've seen some content that people have said, you know, this is it, me, this is, I mean, they didn't rejected those comments, this is AI. But I wanted to be very clear on this, right? This is more of a lack of the ability to detect prohibited content. Not that they are, it's not really an algorithm. I mean, is there also an algorithm problem where it looks like they've set the algorithm to actually push this content?
It actually is a combination, to be honest with you. It's a combination because, as you know, when you go on AI, when you go on on Twitter, X, what you find is you go there for trending news. So the more people are looking at something, the quicker it fills up their algorithm. It gets shown to you based on your interest and things that you're going there to go and look at. So this is a twofold problem in the fact that, one, the platform should have been able to anticipate that, or should have been able to, let me use the word flag that the content that was being produced or generated was illegal, because child sexual abuse material is illegal content straight out there. It should also have been able to flag the fact that when people complained about it, there should have been a bug or a fix that they could have put in place immediately. There should also have been something as simple as, if people put pictures into Grok, you should be able to flag to them and say something along the lines that, this picture, do you have the permission, or is this your image, or do you have the right to use this image, or something even that tells people, you still have consequences. There are consequences for misusing non-consensual pictures that you don't have consent for. So it's a combination of that. The fact that there was nothing to flag that these pictures were wrong or could have been used the way they were used. There was nothing to flag the images. And then worst of all, that it wasn't flagging that these were underage people whose pictures were being manipulated in that way. This, for me, is what concerns me the most. The fact that parents unknowingly may have put pictures, parents, grandparents, friends may have posted pictures of their nieces, nephews, grandchildren, children, innocently, and those pictures are then being scraped and used for this purpose. The second thing that also concerns me is, the fact that most AI tools do scrap websites. So it's very likely that school websites with pictures of children could also have been scrapped to create this database that people are using to create images. And worst of all, and this was the most appalling one, is there's a concern, a major concern, that Grok AI may also have access to child sexual abuse material databases, right? So even if you have access to those databases and you're trying to use it to filter, to say this is wrong, take it down, that could possibly be something we understand. But to then not even be able to kind of compare images across this platform to say this has to be taken down, that is a major, major concern, and we should all be very worried about it.
Absolutely.
So yes, the regulators are doing what they should do, but we as users should also be shouting really loudly.
Absolutely. It's really worried, especially when it has to do with children. But some countries are now putting safeguards and one of the things they're doing is to ensure that they're banning social media for children, sometimes even up to 18. And I'm wondering if that's enough. It's good, but is it enough? Some children will still have access. Other countries where children still have access to social media, what should be done?
So it's a start. Banning it for children under 16 is a start. 16 to 18, limited use of it. So that's a start. But what it's a start because it helps people to begin to realize that this tool that we have that is so powerful can have real life consequences, can have a darker side to it. And we're not trained or we're not sensitized enough to understand what the dangers of it are until something goes wrong. So that's a start. The second thing that then needs to happen is, even if you find that, which is what some of the online safety acts that are in place right now across the EU are trying to make sure people do, is you have age verification. So you're making sure that before you show certain materials that are considered adult content to a certain audience, that you verify their age. Undoubtedly, children can lie and say they're not that age they are, but at least you're putting measures in to verify the ages of the people you are delivering content to. The problem with algorithms is sometimes it goes based on your interest. So it gives you if you've checked something before, it will keep on serving you that same content. And even this is even for interesting content, because I find that a lot of times I go into my social media, I'm like, oh, I need to wipe my algorithm because I don't like what it's feeding me. And this is even regular, basic, ordinary, interesting content. We're not talking about illegal content here. So there is a lot that needs to be done. Banning it is one start, one step that we should take. Awareness for us as parents, as users, or everybody else about the harm, because sometimes what happens is a lot of tools are positioned as educational and helpful, right? It starts off like that, agreed, but there's potential for it to be infiltrated either by definitely by nefarious people have nefarious activity and plans in mind. So they'll infiltrate it and start to put unhealthy content in there. And a lot of times kids don't even know what they're looking at to understand that this is healthy, this is not healthy, this is looking.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, wasn't it? Mark Zuckerberg was in New York yesterday, New York court, facing trial. We'll see how what is being more is being done to ensure that these social media giants are held accountable. Thank you so much for your time. As always, lawyer and data protection practitioner Timidayo Akindele.
Thank you very much for having me. They need to be held accountable, and we need to all get together to make sure that we're holding tech companies accountable for their behavior. Thank you.